Namo Namo everyone. So now today we'll be starting with the story Robinson Crusoe discovers a footprint. Now the story Robinson Crusoe was actually written by Daniel Defoe. He was a writer, merchant, journalist, pamphleteer and spy who used to live in England. Now this author is very much famous for his novel Robinson Crusoe. Now, this novel was published in 1719 and it is said to have received more translations than the Bible. So, this novel was translated in so many different languages that it has been translated more than Bible. Now, before we start reading the story, Robinson Crusoe's ship has been destroyed by the sea. He had been alone for many years and longed for company. One day he discovers a footprint on the sand. Let's find out what he did then. So this story is about Robinson Crusoe. So many years back his ship was destroyed in the sea and so he was living alone on an island. Now one fine day when he was walking through the shore, he discovers a footprint over there. So the story is all about that. So we have to find out what he did after he discovered a footprint. So actually, this is a small extract taken from the novel Robinson Crusoe. The mariner Robinson Crusoe spent years alone on a deserted island which was off the coast of America at the mouth of great river of Orinoco. So because of a shipwreck, he got stranded on a beach. Now Crusoe stumbled upon something nearly impossible one day. And that was, on the island where he lived, he discovered a footprint. So this chapter covers a description of what followed next. Right? What happened after that. So the way the novel was actually written, many people thought that it was actually a real person's travelogue, that a person really got stranded on an island and after that a travelogue was written, but that's not true. So Robinson Crusoe was actually a very realistic character, but still a character which was penned down by the writer Daniel Defoe, and he was not real. So let's start reading about the story. One day, when I was going towards my boat, I was surprised to see the footprint of a man on the sand. I stood amazed. I listened. I looked around me. I could neither hear nor see anything. So one day, Robinson, who used to live on a secluded island, discovers a footprint. Now, that footprint was of some man, and he was amazed by it because he was the only person who used to live on that island, and for years nobody came to that island. So when he saw a footprint which was not his, he got surprised. He listened, he looked around him, but he could neither hear anyone's sound or voice, nor could he see anything. I went up higher to look down. I went up the shore and down the shore, but it was no good. I could find no other footprint but that one. I went to it again to see if there were any more footprints, and to tell if it had been my imagination. But I was not mistaken, for there was exactly the print of a foot, toes, heel, every part of a foot. I could not imagine how it came there. So he went up and down the shore, but he could not find any other footprint. Right? There was only one footprint that he could find. So he was very much confused. So he thought that it is possible that it was his imagination. Right? That the footstep was not really there, but he imagined it. So he went to sit again. But it was not at all his imagination. There was the print of a foot. There were toes, heel. So each and every part of a foot was right there in front of him. So he kept on thinking about how it got here. He had no idea that how a footprint was there. I stayed a long time thinking, but became more and more confused. At last, I returned home very frightened, looking behind me after every 2 or 3 steps, mistaking every bush and tree to be a man. So he kept on thinking about how the footprint got there. But as he was thinking, he became more and more confused about it. So he returned back very scared to his cave where he used to live. But he kept on looking behind him after every 2 or 3 steps. And he started to imagine every bush and tree to be a man. So he was quite frightened because of the footprint. So now what happens next? Is there really a man on that island or not? We'll be reading about that in the next video, so stay tuned. Thank you so much.